What up, YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. It's your boy Camden. Obviously, I'm back. It's kind of okay. There we go. This is the Raw Nash recap that you probably haven't been waiting for, but if you were, I got good news for you because it's about to go down right now. Very, very exciting stuff, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna put my medal right here on my giant check that I have. Earnings check, motherfuckers. That's from a meet I did back in October where I got $150. So earnings check, everybody who hadn't earned money from lifting weights. Anyway, what up? Welcome to the Raw Nash recap. So I know I competed like 2 weeks ago, but this is the recap because look, June, it's probably been like one of the busiest months that I've had in a really, really long time. I literally couldn't tell you like how busy I was. Beginning of the month, I was in Dallas, had an event there, hella fun. I vlogged, like I was at a gaming tournament. I vlogged for you guys and I never got around to even uploading that. Like I have 2 or 3 videos probably on this camera that I just never got around to uploading. And then from there, I was in Vegas, Raw Nash obviously like 4 or 5 days. Competed, and then literally I competed, I came home, was home for about 48 hours, and then I flew to Florida for Disney World for a family vacation. I was in Disney World for like 5 or 6 days. So there was like a 2-week period when I was home for like 2.5 days. So it was very, very busy and very intense. It was a lot of fun, without a doubt, but it was definitely stressful. Yeah, so I was just busy handling work, handling travel, make sure all my athletes were taken care of, and it was kind of intense. But anyway, we're back, settled, kind of get everything caught up now. It was like the end of June. Had a birthday last week, that was cool, turned 26, who cares? But anyway, we're going to dive into this Raw Nash recap. Got my notes right here, because I literally had to go on lifting cast before this video and to make sure my notes were double checked. But anyway, we're back and we're ready for this Raw Nash recap. So, going into Raw Nash, training was going very, very well. Obviously, you saw on this channel, even though I didn't get to upload my final YouTube videos, I was too busy to get everything ready, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, going to the Raw Nash, training was going very well. We had some very, very high hopes of some numbers we could hit, given if the opportunity was there and the numbers were there, right? So competing in prime time for the first time, which was great, kind of like a dream come true to be able to compete in prime time. Hopefully it's not the last time. Hopefully we can make that like a yearly thing, right? It's just the 110 class is extremely competitive, and like I really love how competitive the 110s are. People always like, do you feel like you were in a different class? Like sometimes people are like, oh, do you feel like you're in a different class that's like competitive? You know, like some female classes aren't necessarily that competitive. Some of the lower male classes aren't necessarily that competitive. But the 110s is very competitive. The 82s, the 90s, the 100s, and the 110s are like very, very competitive top to bottom. Even without the split between USAPL and Nats, it's still very competitive. And I love that. Like I want all the best lifters to be in 110. When I go compete, I want to be against the best, right? So that's how it works. So it's competition. But yeah, so let's get into the meet. So we ended up weighing in at 104.5. So we were 5 kilos underweight, which is about 10 pounds. I did not want to weigh in that light. It's funny because I said that in my last meet recap video, but here we are weighing in that light. I think my scale here was actually lighter than the meet scale because I was weighing at home consistently 234, 235. I get to Vegas, I'm like 232, 231. Not really sure why. I tracked my eating when I traveled and everything. The calories checked out. Thursday, literally Saturday, I competed on Sunday. Saturday, I went to a lunch buffet. I ate a healthy lunch buffet, but I ate a lot, and then I still woke up at 104 kilos. So I actually woke up at 104 kilos that morning. Weigh-ins were at 2 o'clock. I ate breakfast on the day of competition before weigh-ins, and then I still weighed in super light. So that's good news for the future, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I mean, like, I don't mind weighing in light because like I felt great. So like obviously, you know, like that shit didn't matter to me, right? And it's all a process, and so we're gonna fill out the class, but we're gonna do it the right way, and we're gonna be a better lifter because of when we fill it out, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. I probably should have done my hair before this video, but I didn't. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. I did use some new facial products though, so hopefully that looks pretty good. I got this new like skincare routine going on. Someone told me my skin's glowing, and I'm like, hey, what can I say? Okay, but enough of that nonsense. Back to the video. So, I'm gonna talk about each attempt, and then we're gonna go in, I'm gonna show the clip here, right? So, squat opener, 282.5 kilos, 622 pounds. Here it is. Let's go, Cam! So yeah, that was honestly probably the best I ever moved 622. And to say that and for that to happen on a meet day, that doesn't always happen. But that was a great feeling, right? And then second attempt. So second attempt, 297.5, 655, which was the most I did in training this block was 650 because I did not push my top end singles as much on squat. I took a more conservative approach with my singles and I tried to put a little bit more emphasis on my back downs. And I think it paid off a lot because my squat really showed up on meet day. As you're gonna see with this third, this is my third attempt, 677.
For the final attempts.
Gino, this is a PR right here.
This will be a PR for Wilson. After Wilson comes power.
So as you can see, with that 677, it moved. It was a perfectly called third attempt. I felt like going into the day I could do 683, but obviously at nationals, like there's situations and there's like nationals isn't about how much you total. It's really about placing, especially when you're going for that podium spot. You know, that top 3 to 5 range, we definitely knew we had a chance to be there. So that was literally the main goal heading in, was to get what's the podium? Get third, fourth, or fifth. Obviously third would be more ideal, and then if not, we'll take fourth, if not, we'll take fifth, but get on the podium essentially. So with that being said, we chose 677. We were looking at 677 to 683. I had the option in the back. I defaulted to 6777 just because we did have the weaker squat going in out of the primetime group of 110s. So that meant we took our third first. So that means if we could hit all 3, kind of put pressure on the other guys to have to hit all 3, right? But yeah. Anyway, I think both the other ones ended up missing their third. So I'm pretty sure I was the only one. Me and David were the only 110s that hit all 3 squats actually. So that was, yeah. But anyway, so squats peaked great. 677 was the most I've had on my back by 10 pounds. And it was the most I've only squatted over 660 4 times. I squatted 661 twice, I squatted 667 once, and 677 once, and then I squatted 650 about 3 times. So it was about 27 more pounds than I had on my back in training this block, and that's just because I put less emphasis on the back downs, or less emphasis on the singles, and more emphasis on the back downs. So my singles, I really wanted them to move relatively well. And I put more emphasis on those back downs. I think it really paid off. And I knew I was in for a big squat because I hit some giant squat doubles and triples. And so like, I was fairly comfortable with 677. And it's just crazy how it's like, we're so close to 700, like it still hasn't registered, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of a full circle moment. So going into bench, I felt okay. I was definitely cramping a little bit, but I wasn't cramping because of how I felt. So bench opened up at 435, which is 197.5 kilos. Just thinking about being able to open up at almost 200 kilos is kind of crazy, because I remember when 200 kilos was like the goal to bench, and now it's like, damn, we're opening up at that right now. Like that shit, full circle moment, right? Anyway, so you guys see that?
And a half on the bar, that's kilos. I wish.
And so after 435, we only jumped 5 kilos to 446. We almost jumped to 452, but because of how long the hold command was, like when you're in racket, it takes a while to get start command. And I purposely do a self lift off to try to get a faster start command. One, self lift offs or lift offs and meets are too inconsistent, and I don't want to rely on that. And then two, I don't like how long it can take to get a rack command at a bigger meets, especially with the lift off. So I was like, I'm gonna self lift off. But at nationals, it still took a long time to get the rack command. And if you like benching at nationals, you can't compare it to benching anywhere else because the standards like night and day. You have to pause a lot stricter. You have to hold your position a lot stricter. So usually at nationals, it's not about how much you bench. It's just about getting what you can get out of bench. And I think when you like, if you notice lifters who have that approach, their number selection is different, and they're just a lot smarter of lifters. If you look at how a lifter approaches a bench at nationals, it can kind of make or break because you just don't want to leave any kilos on the board, right? So it's definitely a different approach to bench press at nationals. So we jumped 446. It felt really good.
Light work, bro.
And Wilson, good.
Just took a conservative jump to 252, or to 205 kilos, 452, pretty much. It was hard, but it wasn't that hard. We pretty much knew we were gonna hit it, just taking what's there. I was probably... Probably good for 457 on the day, which is pretty good. Going in, we were looking around 460, that range, so 452. Like I said, took what was there. After the first, took an easy opener that you can hit no matter what. After the first one, like, okay, they're gonna make us hold it a little bit before we get a start command. They're gonna make us hold a little bit longer before we get the press command. Okay, well, let's just take what's there, right? So pretty much what we did on bench, pretty chill bench day, 6 for 6 at this point, because your boy don't miss, essentially. Going into deads. So at this point, going into deads, we were projected in 4th place at this point, and you have to lock in a total to get deads. So this is where the numbers game kind of comes into play a little bit. Didn't really affect us too much this time just because of how deads ended up playing out. But basically what happened, opened up at 666, which is Gino's favorite number. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, don't really worry about it. But you can ask me and I'll tell you, but it's just kind of thing. So sometimes my camera's autofocus isn't very good, so it does go in and out. Hopefully it hasn't been too bad. But yeah, so open up at 666.
You're on a highway to hell! 666, the number of the power lifter! Camden's gonna rip it off the floor from the depths of hell into the heavens above! 666, the number of the power lifter!
Ended up not getting this lift because of downward motion, which if you don't follow powerlifting, you like, I know people who are watching who don't follow powerlifting, like, what you do wrong on that lift. So essentially the weight cannot go down. And it was almost a purpose of, one, the platform was uneven, and two, it was almost too easy because I moved it faster than I thought, and it kind of just caught at the top and it kind of lowered down, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is, so we missed. So at that point, you have to register a total to, you have to register a deadlift, obviously, to hit total. So at that point, we knew we didn't want to retake it because we didn't want to waste our second attempts. We still had an outside shot at potentially getting 3rd. So at that point, so we wanted to go up, but we didn't want to take a jump to a planned second just to be safe. So what we ended up only jumping 7.5 kilos to 683, and hitting 683, that locked me up as a podium spot. So that for sure put me in top 5. So how to go hit 683, so hitting 683 locked me up into the podium spot for sure. And then from there, it was just a matter of how far behind us is the guy in 5th, and how far ahead of us is the guy in 3rd for the 3rd attempt. So for the 3rd attempt, we ended up putting 705. So what ended up happening, the guy in 3rd hit his 2nd deadlift, which means the number we would have needed to pull for 3rd jumped like by 10 to 15 kilos. So at that point, it was just like, okay, we don't need to put something crazy on the bar right now. We don't even need to take a big, pretty much 4th was locked up after my 2nd attempt. And 3rd was a little bit too far out of reach at that point because he hit his 2nd attempt, and because I missed my 1st, we took a smaller jump to a 2nd, so it would have been a far bigger jump to that number, essentially speaking. So we ended up just pulling 705. Probably like the easiest 705 has ever moved in my life. It wasn't even hard, and it's crazy because after my 1st attempt, I was so focused on just not losing balance at the top. I wasn't really worried about pulling it that hard. So I had to move the bar back on the platform to try to get to a more level ground, and then I essentially just, in my mind, I was like, okay, just pull this and then just stand up and like we're good. Like pull it, stand up, and we're good. So 705 3rd, I'm gonna show you. Boom, so you see it. So I literally pulled it, just stood up, and we were good at that point. That for 100% locked in 4th, but I'm pretty sure the 4th was locked in after the 2nd attempt because the podium was pretty much locked at that point too. So yeah, just played that deadlift super conservative. If we didn't miss our 1st deadlift, which I wish we didn't, honestly, I kind of wish I would have told Joey to full send it, but you know, you want to be smart and just register that total and make sure you podium, right? So sometimes you just got to be smart about it on meet day. But the original plan was to go 666 to jump to 705, and then from there we were looking at 733 to 744 to 750, kind of in that range, is what we were going to pull. And I think based on how 705 moved, I think I could have gotten 738, 744, especially because like I wasn't even focused on pulling 705. I was focused on not falling forward. So you know, I was a little distracted at that point because of the 1st, but that's just like being adaptable on game day. Sometimes you just have to know how to adapt on game day in order to execute. And I think you see that with the better lifters, especially at nationals. It's not about the number, it's about the execution. And that's just things that you kind of don't see at local level meet. And like sometimes they might just force it, and the lack of execution is there, right? And at national meet, execution separates the really good lifters from the good lifters, essentially. So if people are even, it generally comes down to who can execute better. So overall, really good meet. I think I hit like a 832.5 total, which was 10 kilos underneath my best total, which is crazy that I can go into nationals. And I don't want to say have a really easy day, but have like I probably had about 2.5 kilos on squat, 2.5 kilos on bench, and I had a lot more left on deadlift. So like to do that at nationals and to almost not casually total 830, but to have a very chill 830 total and a very chill 500 dots performance is crazy that we're at that point. But it's like, bro, we're literally at that point. Just kind of crazy how far we've come if you think about it. So really solid day. Ended up in 4th, like I said earlier. But yeah. Our goal was to hit that podium spot. We literally did just that. Business was handled, and now we move on. So, planning going forward, we are competing November 5th at the Corrupted Strength Classic in Houston, Texas, which is going to be, I was literally talking to Dion. Dion's like the head of Get Better Today. Him and Gia, they all run Corrupted. So I was talking to him at Nationals, and the things he was telling me about this meet is going to be hype as fuck. That's all I know. I'm hyped to do is the fucking roster's loaded for 110s. David and Ashton are both going to be there. Sean Weeze is going to be there. A couple other 110s. I literally have to look at the roster because I'm pretty sure some other like really top level 110s have signed up. So it's going to be a lot of fun to compete against them and just see where we're at. For like a local meet, it's going to be, I'm calling it Nats 2.0, but it's going to be live. We're going to do a prep series for that meet probably starting in September. So don't worry, the YouTube content is going to be coming. I know I said that 100 fucking times in the past, but I mean it now. I'm gonna start trying to upload twice a week. So announcement, twice a week YouTube uploads for you guys. If I'm not hitting this YouTube upload grind, y'all gotta hit me in the DMs on IG, like bro, where's the YouTube video? Like literally annoy me, because I want it to come. I want those twice a week uploads. Just some filming stuff, right? We're gonna be filling out 242. I literally talked to my nutritionist. I'm like, hey, we're talking about planning for the summer. Do we want to stay leanish? Because like right now, I'm pretty fucking lean for 232. It's actually kind of insane. Like my body comp is like pretty close to the best my body comp has ever been. Very consistent day to day. So talk to him. We're gonna fill out 242 and just try to be a fucking tank. I think I was talking to Joey yesterday about what we want to do the pro training class. If we just want to go for a big ass total, if we want to try to push some people, like what the plan is. I think the plan is to put up a big total and then just kind of see what we can do. I think we could do something nice. I'm not gonna say any numbers right now, but we got some pretty big numbers in mind because I have 10 pounds to gain. I'm literally like, guys, I'm telling you right now, if I blow up in these next like 4 or 5 months, don't be surprised, because I'm gonna be eating the most calories I've ever eaten. Like everything's literally gonna be dialed in. Like training already feels great post meet, and it never feels like this good post meet. So I don't want to say I'm like optimistically hyped, but I'm optimistically hyped. So that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, it's gonna be really, really good. But anyway, that's what the plan is for the future. Twice a week YouTube uploads. Everyone at Nats, like Nats so much fucking fun seeing everybody. And everyone was like, yo, Cam, you gotta make, they're like, Cam, I like your YouTube. They're like, you don't post anything? I'm like, bro, I know. And they'll be like, oh, you should post more, like on IG, like, oh, you post more training, you gotta post more YouTube, you gotta do this and this. And I was telling them, I'm like, you know what, I need to. So I already talked to some people, gonna try to make that commitment to post some more on this channel in general, and just in general post more, just because people will be telling me I need to do that. And like, I know I need to do it, guys. I just, like, I get busy and then I'm just like, who cares? But like, people tell me they want to see it. So like, I know like there's a place for it, right? So definitely something I want to work on and get better at, right? But overall, had a great Raw Nats. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this recap, just me kind of talking about my thoughts and whatnot. Enjoyed the earnings check again. So next YouTube video might be a plans for the year, although I kind of just gave you a brief recap. Damn, I'm already ruining content. So I need my content manager. But anyway, now I literally lost my train of thought. I'll catch you guys later. I'm about to go hit some deadlifts. Deadlifts be feeling really good right now, even though I've only done like 2 sessions since I've been back. But anyway, I'm gonna get some deadlifts. Uploads twice a week. Be ready for it, guys. I'll catch y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. Peace.